Go ahead.
Great. Welcome to the COIL Faculty and Student Showcase. A special welcome to our international faculty and student partners. We appreciate you being here and taking the time to share your projects with us. I'm Dr. Anita Baksh, co-chair of the college-wide committee for COIL. Today, you will hear about the exciting collaborative projects that were implemented, particularly in this spring semester. Please note that this event is being recorded. In order to best enjoy today's program, please remain on mute and feel free to add comments to the chat throughout the program. We also suggest that you use speaker view to see whoever's speaking in full screen. I now turn it over to our moderator, Dr. Olga Aksakalova, LaGuardia's COIL coordinator and the person responsible for bringing COIL to LaGuardia.
Thank you so much, Anita. Thank you so much for being with us. And I want to thank my wonderful team, Anita Baksh, Pablo Abdellah from CTL, and many, many other people who you'll hear from today. Welcome, everyone. Today is a very special showcase. We have been doing this wonderful work with all of you, with our old friends and new friends since 2016. So at the end of the session today, we'll show you a little timeline and we'll celebrate each other. But first, I would like to share with you today's program, which I just placed in the chat. So you can go ahead and take a look. And but not everyone who ran COIL projects will be presenting today. So I do want to show you which projects got implemented and which faculty were doing it this semester. This semester, we had all of these running, right? So we had Professor Alcira, who is here, who collaborated with Sarah from Mexico, from UNAM University, and we're very happy for that. Andre Anteles, who collaborated with Veena and Komal in India. And Professor Anna Voisard, who collaborated with a partner in Morocco. Of course, we had Professor Ariana Martinez, who did a very first collaboration with Chile with Professor Christian. I'm not sure if he's here. The public speaking course, Erica Hapner partnered with Angelique from France. We had our first fine arts / industrial design professor, Hannah, who collaborated with Juan, also from UNAM in Mexico. I think Lamise is going to do her project next semester. And then we had our very first chemistry course, Professor Marta Kavalchuk collaborated with Professor Ekta from St. Neots College in India. Of course, we had Milena Kuhler, who taught algebra with partners in Jordan, as well as with Professor Lara Caricola, who is in the English department, so that was a trio. And Professor Raj Bika collaborated with our friends in Guanajuato. Professor Robin Kitlitsky from history collaborated on 3 projects with partners in India. I believe, I'm trying to remember now who she collaborated with. A lot of different people in India. I can't remember. I know it's Snowbird's team, right? But I can't remember exactly who. So Kelly also worked with Snowbird's team, as well as a professor from BMCC, who is here, Yan Yang. Lucy McNair worked with Said, who is here from Morocco, Fez. And we also had Maria Sava, Nancy Bandiera, Nicole Fernandez, Sodium Kuku, Stephanie Serchik from theater, Corey Feldman from criminal justice, Habiba Boomlik did our first collaboration with Israel, And of course, Professor Kyoko Toyama collaborated with our wonderful Justin. So I would like to thank every single one of you for doing this amazing work. We will hear today from some of you, and others are gonna live on our Asynchronous gallery, which also is located in the website that I had shared earlier. I would like to turn this over now to my colleague, Evgenia Granovskaya from LaGuardia's Center for Career and Professional Development. And she's going to talk a little bit about connections between COIL and career success for our students. Thank you, Yevi.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for including me in today's event. Do I have a share screen option? Okay, perfect. So I just have a 5-minute little presentation that I'm going to share in a second. I hope everyone could see the screen. There we go, slideshow. So first and foremost, I really would like to congratulate the scholars and the professors on their amazing work and completing the semester with the COIL projects. I heard about the different projects that took place this semester, and the work that's done just sounds so amazing. So congratulations to everyone on that great work done. What we want to remind the students about is that work that you do in every course, and of course, especially COIL courses, since that's our topic today, helps you develop a lot of different skills that apply to the workplace. So, and competencies as well. So a few competencies that we've been talking about throughout the semesters related to COIL experiences include equity and inclusion, technology, critical thinking, and teamwork, just to name a few. So we really want to encourage students to think about the projects, the nature of the work that they've been completing, the types of interactions they've been having this semester and other semesters, and to really reflect on what have they experienced, how their COIL experiences contributed to their overall career readiness, which of the competencies they've been developing, what are some examples of their success stories related to these experiences, and really think about how the COIL course project can help, and how can you talk about, right, the great work that you've done in your COIL project to potential employers in the future, right? How can you showcase these experiences in your future internship searches, your job searches, and also in applications to transfer applications to four-year colleges. So we really want to encourage students to showcase their accomplishments on their resumes, cover letters, during interviews, on their LinkedIn profiles, and of course on ePortfolio. And we are here to offer support to students through our services to do just that. Our office does resume reviews, interview preparation, LinkedIn profile reviews. We do a lot of workshops around these topics, and we offer individual assistance to students as well. So we want to invite students to schedule appointments on Career Connect. That's our system where students can view jobs and internships, make appointments with me and other advisors, RSVP for our upcoming events, and do a lot of other things. So Career Connect, as I hope everyone's aware, can be accessed through students' My LaGuardia page. And if students need any help, please call us, email us, stop by. We're in B114, and we are offering services in person and virtually this semester and over the summer. So the summer hours starting next week are on the screen right now, along with all of our contact information. I will share these slides with Olga to share with everyone, but feel free to take a screenshot if you like as well and contact us. A quick note about our social media. We post a lot of opportunities and reminders about things on social media, so highly encourage everyone to follow us on Instagram or your favorite platform to not miss out on anything and be in the know as to what's going on. So once again, thank you so much for inviting me to have this quick little conversation with you. I really hope to see COIL students and talk to you about your experiences. If you need any help verbalizing what you've done or thinking through it, talking through it, I'm here and I'll be happy to chat. So just grab an appointment and I'll see you soon.
Thank you
Thanks,
so
everyone.
much. Thank you so much, Yevi. I'm definitely going to post the slides from Yevi's presentation on our event website so everybody can know how to reach her.
Thank you so much.
Okay, I think we're ready for our first presenters. First up, of course, we have Professor Justin Barrera from Matsusho Junior College in Japan, and his longtime partner, Dr. Kyoko Toyama, who teaches Japanese language and many other wonderful things at LaGuardia. And I'll let you introduce your students.
Okay, thank you very much. Good morning, everybody. So as Olga said, Justin and I, we have been working together for almost 7 or 8 years, but we do differently each semester. We're very trying to be creative. So today we're going to be presenting, let me just show my presentation called Learning with Others versus Learning from Others. So we have actually 2 students from my class, and also I should be able to show a very quick video of Rikuto, who is a student at the Matsumoto University, because these are 2 universities, 1 junior college and 1 university. We're very happy to have this 4-year college student today. So just for those of you who have never been in our showcase before, very quickly, so because you can sort of see how different our colleges are. So one Matsusho College, I've been there a couple of times, beautiful in the middle of Japan, beautiful with lots of nature. I think it was number two city that everybody wants to live. And on the right side, as most of you are familiar with, LaGuardia, in the inner city urban. So I just want you to get a sense where our students are situated. So what we did, so I'm going to be just talking about overview and have students talk about their experience. And then Justin is going to come back, philosopher, tech guru, going to give us a really wonderful pedagogical, philosophical sort of a summary of what we did. So this is online exchange between the 2 students. My class this time, Olga, it's not Japanese. It was my College Discovery Honors and Leadership Seminar. So they don't speak Japanese, something new. So Justin's students have to really understand, our students too, to really understand the importance of the cross-cultural communication. So for 7 weeks, and also we are part of the LaGuardia's humanitarian initiative. Some of the materials that we use are sort of parallel to the LHI, and especially the goal, the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal 4, education for all. So we had 3 tasks this semester. First one is something very easy, self-introduction, using the Flipgrid, getting to know each other. But Justin and I, we use this introduction to find the best match, because we really wanted the students to work together for task 3. So, finding a sort of a similar hobbies. And so I think it worked out well this semester. And the second task was to write about their educational journey. Using the book that we read in my class, it was a little bit hard for Justin's students, but Justin's students they were introduced to a little bit easier book by Malala's Magic Pen for children, actually. So my class read this book, and then they wrote about their own journey. As you know, almost every student is immigrant or children immigrants. So it was really powerful to write about their own personal journey. Then the final task, which they finished last week, was to develop their presentation with a partner on education for all, using the class discussion and reflection on their own journey, writing, and materials from United Nations that we're going to be submitting this to the UN, I guess, the education department that we are part of. Then, of course, we met at the beginning of the semester in person, and we're going to be meeting this Friday as our sort of wrap up. But in between, our students really use the different social medias that I'm not so familiar with. So they really work together. So this is just a couple of slides. I'm going to just show you how they use the Flipgrid. And then this is a final presentation. They did the voiceover on their presentation. So we tried to add a little bit of new stuff. And I hope students really got something out of this, not only just to get the work done, but also to really understand what their role is in this whole global role. So we're going to hear from students. Noreen Sutana, LaGuardia's Math and Science majors. She's graduating, and she's going to Hunter. And Adam Abdellah, he's a childhood education major, and he's graduating also and going to Queens College. And Victor Akahane, who was supposed to come in person, but he's not feeling well. So I should be able to show you a little bit about what he said about the collaboration. But he's a four-year college student, but enrolled in Justin's class, and he's an education major. So, I put Adam and Victor together to work together. Okay, so I'm gonna just take this off, and we have Noreen. Please.
Hello, everyone. My name is Noreen Sultana, and as his slide stated, my major is liberal arts, math, and science, and I'm going to graduate this year. So I'm going to talk about the COIL project. My partner from Matsusho College her name was Shion Sonehara. We communicated through Instagram and video chat after we got each other's contacts from Gmail. We both learned how to manage our time, and we both interchanged between speaking English and Japanese. Since Shion is not fluent in English, I made sure to put a Japanese translation for the question and went for relatively simple questions in case she was nervous to ease her in. We both found our friend in each other through this project. We both were exposed to information of how the education in our home countries and goals are with our academic lives in different perspectives. It truly was an interesting journey. So thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you, Noreen. Adam, are you? He's here.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Let me just fix my
Can you show
camera.
your face if possible?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Sure. Yeah, my name is Adam Abdellah. I'm an education major, and one of the biggest things I learned from working with Rakuto, my Japanese partner, is that although he has a different upbringing, we share similar ideas that education should be arts inclusive and contain cultural pedagogy, because it gives students a sense of self-identity, and students should feel safe and have fun in the classroom and not be bored and unengaged just reading textbooks and answering questions. I was surprised when I found out my partner was also an education major, because what are the chances I get paired up with someone pursuing the same career and studying the same things as me? I was also surprised how similar Rakuto's education experience was to mine. I discovered my partner and I both wanted to be engaging and fun educators, incorporating play and arts, and not being just result-oriented teachers. Even assessments don't have to be tests. It can be in a game fashion or something that gives students less stress and performance anxiety, because I'm a firm believer that students absorb less knowledge when they're under too much stress. I recommend to other students to do the COIL Collaborative Online International Learning, because it is not only a fun and unique experience, but fun and unique experience that can get you out your comfort zone, but it can also be a cool story to tell your coworkers and friends later on.
Thank you very much, Adam. So I think just given the time, I want to just show you at least the face of this. This is Ricto. I don't know if you're able to hear very well, but just very quick.
Hello, I am Ricto. I thought about Adam and education in my message. Adam asked me many questions about education. I watched Barrera's speech at the UN and told him how I felt about it. Adam was kind. Adam was kind enough to respond to me. Thank you very much.
So I just wanted you to know that they really connected and they talked about, being a future educator. So thank you. So now I'm going to give the floor or the screen to Justin.
Right. I don't even think I need the slides. I'm just going to go ahead. If you want to put them up again, we can go with the kind of the things that stood out. But with the time that I have left, there's three things that really stood out that from my side, we saw. I hope it was another side, was that the way that students felt or talked about these projects became less of an issue of a goal, something to hand into the teacher, and instead they were talking about it more like a glue. This project was the reason they got to talk and work with these other students. The project was a chance, an opportunity to be connected with their partners. So this was a positive thing. Another thing they all talked about at the end of our class, at least in my class, was the time. So students having to worry about the time differences in order to meet them. Also had to worry about they started worried about the schedule, the other students' end of semester. And so this awareness became a responsibility to time. And I'm accustomed to my students doing everything the night before. And so this was a different story. They were doing things on a much more responsible schedule because there was this heightened awareness of time. So this was one of those things that jumped out. And finally, there was, and this happens often, because it's more public, it's going to be seen by other people, they get this sense of exposure and they take a greater care in managing how things are seen and how they present themselves. And I think these things, in a sense, are not so surprising, but actually make sense if you look at how our exchange has developed over the last 7 years. And I'm going to go through this as quickly as I can, but if you know the SAMR model, you'll know that the first thing is a substitution. And when Kyoko I first started, we used social media to substitute the old, outdated, stale, flat textbooks and videos and things like that for this live interaction with students. So while it wasn't functionally different, the idea is that we were getting a different source, students, live students, instead of dated printed material. And then we moved on from that, where the students realized that they could, ask questions from their partners. They could dive deeper and get stuff that wasn't readily available. They could augment this experience, but it's still kind of the same idea. They're still learning from the partners. And this goes back to our theme, learning from versus learning with. I think about 2 years ago, we started to notice a difference in how things were going. And we started to give more freedom to the students so that they would schedule their meetings. It wasn't so much our very structurally scheduled exchanges, but the students started to meet with their partners on their own time. And this gave them agency about how they were doing this. And so it became moved away from kind of content extraction from their partners and moved more towards this like content negotiation is the way I would like to put it. So the relationship became stronger. And this year, I would say we really hit a sweet spot with them working very independently, working to make their own appointments, working on this project very much on their own. And so the difference there would be that they were doing something completely different. I talk about that glue. The project becomes the glue, and that perhaps for many of them, this experience of working with somebody else was much more important than the final product that came at the end. And I know that Eugenia early talked about using these things in e-portfolios. And I feel that this is important for your e-portfolio. It's not just this example, writing example, but it's almost like doing a small internship, a 7-week internship, where you learn not just hard skills, but soft skills of working with people in different cultural environments and learning together and negotiating together about a material that you have to put into a concise package and present. And I think for us, it's been this journey to get to this point where we've hit this, this goal where they are now doing something very different from where we started. They have redefined the goal, which is the collaboration. The journey is more important than the destiny, I think is the best way to sum it up. So I hope I've done justice in the time that I have had. And I think that, we've learned this over the course of time, making lots and lots of mistakes. But I think for the students coming in now, this is going to help build them this collaborative experience, the journey of making these things. And I hope they're able to use that to leverage their future and say, I know how to do this. This is a useful skill in the future, more than just the actual products themselves.
Thank you. And thank you, Olga. This is all we have. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Thank you for telling us about your journey, Justin. That was really helpful. And I think we all talk about student-generated content in COIL. But the way you frame it in terms of technology, in terms of the process, that's really useful. And we've been learning a lot from both of you and your students. It's very humbling and very enlightening. Thank you so much for being with us. Okay, next up, Professor Martín Pantoja from Guanajuato and at Goodman from our business program. I'll let you introduce the students as well. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you very much, Olga. Hello, everybody. Buenos días a todos. And I'm very happy to be here. I know that this is the 6th anniversary of the COIL experience in LaGuardia. And my partner, Edward Goodman, and myself, we're 50% of that old story. You know, we started on September 2019 with the COIL experience. And since then, we have been actually making some changes, which is always important to innovate and to make changes in the COIL experience, but also it's so important to keep what really works. You know, change just by the change is not good, because we have a different set of students every semester, every period. So that's why we try to keep the good ideas and the good exercises. So this actual point that we're presenting, we want it to be more practical. So we're going to show you videos, and also one of the students is here, one student from Mexico, and we want to show you exactly what is the COIL applied. We're not going to talk this time because we have done it in the past about what we do, the weeks and the process and everything. I think we have presented that in previous sessions. Now we want to show you exactly what we are doing and the impact of the COIL in the business field. So as you know, language training, intercultural skills, equity, etc., are the main, let's call it keystones for the COIL. But let's not forget that a university is composed of chemistry, business, physics, and many other areas. And we need our professionals to be working out there with these skills. So for the business-like environment, especially here in Guanajuato, we are surrounded by companies from all over the world. So more and more, we need graduates that really understand how to deal, how to do negotiations, how to set up a project in a multicultural environment. So that's our presentation that we're going to do today. Let me share with you just a very small ideas and of the impact of this COIL project that we did this term. In the project, we really believe that students have, and we evaluate the students and they confirm that they really learn intercultural teamwork. And especially, we're so happy to work with LaGuardia because LaGuardia is a very intercultural institution. So we got students from USA, Mexico, India, and China. So all the work that they were doing in the project was related to how to do business in the 4 countries and how to solve problems in these different businesses. And believe me, this is so different how we do it in Mexico, how we do it in the US, how we do it in China or in India. So for us, it's a very learning experience. Also, students really learn how to be patient and what resilience is about. Because I was listening to the Japan project, the Japan USA project with Justin and our dearest friend from Japan. And if you have like 15 hours difference, we only have 1 hour difference with New York, and that was an issue. So even 1 hour difference was an issue, mistaking the meetings times and etc. Also, another skill that we believe these students develop is to overcome the language barrier. And we're not talking here about your students from the United States only speaking English and my students from Guanajuato speaking English, and of course they speak Spanish. It was very important, not just they realize, especially for American students, how important it is to learn and to know another language, but also how to be aware of the accents in the different languages and how to be patient, how to give empathy to those different people who speaks with the different accent, myself, and also the different cultural issues related to the language. So they were having also some problems, and they were solving those problems because of the language miscommunication on the cultural aspect of it. So we also, of course, believe that most of them in the evaluation really show to us that they are very much aware of intercultural skills. We cannot promise that they are already, they have high skills in intercultural. I think that will be a lie. You know, I think the most important in 7 weeks, 8 weeks, 9 weeks, they can develop the awareness of how important it is to be intercultural. And they will go from face to face, you know, from denial to develop the skills. So what about our, in my opinion, that's 50% from our main objective. The other 50% is to develop business skills, because we are business professors and we want to have business professionals with these skills. They learn in our project how to really do a SWOT analysis as an analytical tool, not just to do it, but how they can really improve using the SWOT analysis, the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. They also really learn to solve problems. They pick a business, and in each side, they have to contact the owner. They have to make sure the owner wants to participate. So we are making them responsible for this. And they get an international perspective on how to solve 3 main problems of those business they select. They analyze the business and they choose the 3 main problems. Then another skill that we believe is very important in this COIL experience, they really go to the hands-on project. You know, they really go to a real project. They really face real problems, and that's so important. The students that was talking about in the last presentation, he's so right. I mean, students get bored to just listen to books and explanations. So students in the COIL that really fully participate, they really develop these skills. And also, very important in Mexico, I'm not aware in the US so far, but in Mexico, we have cases of entrepreneurship. Some of the cases are actually the students' family business or the students' new business. So for us, it's very important that they actually are going to use those ideas. Of course, they learn also some ideas about how to manage sales, how to manage the debt, and how to also do some advertising analysis. Those are the outcomes on the business area for these 2 projects that we are presenting today. So let me just very quickly, it's a very short video. We made a selection of the video for you guys, and we want to show you our students in action. Oh, and I think I have to share, I don't know. Sorry, I don't know if I have the capability to share the sound. There you go. Now I have it.
Business of Mexico, that is La Tele, that is my own business and is a showroom of entrepreneurs that where each one have his point of sale in Guanajuato. So first we have the 3 provinces that the first is the lake of sales, that is that entrepreneurs have a lot of range of events, and that also the entrepreneurs do not advertise his business in Facebook or Instagram.
So in this SWOT analysis, we have the strengths, and this business is newfangled, so have a lot of potential, even have a good management and a good location. So,
and now we will continue with recommendations for solving the problems of the business. Next one, please. In the first place, we have create attractive dynamics for the customers and enhance their interest to consume the products, such as sweepstakes or discounts on available products, to establish strategies for late payments, such as charging accumulated interest for each day of delay and applying compensations for customers who pay on time. And lastly, create awareness of the importance of using social networks as a means of advising for business.
And I think that is everything. So for the 2 business. So
And now I would like my student Areli, she's from Guanajuato, to share with us her impressions on the COIL experience. Please, Areli.
Hello, good morning. My name is Ariel Lopez. I am a student of the Universidad of Guanajuato. I am studying accounting, and I want to share my experience of work with students from another country. And I have to say that it was a kid challenge because they have a different culture, times, lifestyles, but in my experience, I think that it was a great opportunity for growth because you know another world, another persons, and I am in love of this project. So the most difficult thing for me was a communication because the Mexicans are very warm. And for example, when I met my classmates, the first things that I tried to do was live with them, ask their name, say, hello, how are you? What they like it, where they live it, and other things to get know them better. And a classmate of New York stopped me and she told me, we are here to work, not to make friends. And I say, oh, my hair is broken, but it's fine. I understand. And I am sorry, just that I am Mexican and we like to have friends everywhere around the world. So it's okay. We work to work. And so other thing that is more difficult is due to time difference, communication was some difficult, but in my experience, the work was achieved and we were able to collaborate together in an excellent way. We can speaking about my own business and what happened with him around the world. And in the end, I made two great friends. And I just want to thank you for this experience and this opportunity to live an international experience through our screen. And I hope that soon you will be able to work in person because it is a great project. And so very thank you.
Thank you so much, Areli. Thank you. Thank you, Martin. Yes, Ed, would you like to add?
Well, I'm going to track down that student. They should absolutely want to create friendships with you. But you know, it is true in terms of communication and difference in terms of interacting. There's difference, and I do think that's a good learning experience but definitely for our students that perhaps need to be a little more friendly. But I think most of them tend to be. But I'm sorry you had that experience. I just want to say thank you everybody for having me again. Thank you for letting Martina and I celebrate our 3-year anniversary. I feel like I owe him a gift or a little present. But thank you for having us. Real quickly, I'm just going to show a little PowerPoint real quick. I'm sorry. Give me 1 second. You know, I'm having a little trouble calling it my PowerPoint. Oh, here we go. Okay. So again, good morning, everybody. I just want to add, I think Martine did a great job talking about the benefits. And again, we've been doing this 3 years, every semester, changing it a little bit. And definitely this presentation today, we wanted to do a little deeper dive into the work and not so much the week-to-week setup that we do for the course. But I do want to give our perspective as well. Me as a program director, when Olga approached me about COIL, you know, more than 3 years ago, I was immediately attracted to it, primarily because of my role as a program director, right? This is the type of work that I want, not just the students in my classroom to be doing, but all our business students, to be honest with you. As many of you have said today, getting out of the classroom, getting out of the textbook and having real world experiences in really doing real business work, interacting, you know, in terms of doing global business. with students from another part of the country, interacting and working and learning from others, and working with businesses in another country. This to me is where real learning takes place. The classroom, the textbook is great for framing the knowledge, but then obviously we have to apply it. And as much as we can apply it in the real world, I feel that brings incredible richness to what we do. So just real quickly, as Martine said, we had teams get together and connect with businesses both in Mexico and the US. And to me, what I love about this assignment, it hits many of the programmatic learning objectives that we're trying to integrate throughout our programs. As you see on the screen, obviously solving business problems, which ties right into inquiry and problem solving as a core competency. Global and multicultural skills, where this, COIL specifically really allows us to have our students learn from each other, work across difference, learn across difference, identify similarities, but also identify differences and learn how to be respectful and smart and find common ground to solve problems. And I think for the most part, we've done that throughout these past years, and especially this semester. Obviously, business communication skills. We have students write a report, wrapping everything up. We have them, as you've seen, do a presentation, which they record and they share. So again, this ties into everything we're trying to do, not just in this class, but throughout our program. And I'm very happy to say that we've been building this type of work in other business courses. And Martine and I hope to see many more, and not just the two of us, but a lot of our colleagues working with each other in different courses, so that most business students at LaGuardia and Guanajuato are exposed to this type of work and have these experiences. I would add, we've recently included teamwork and collaboration as an important PLL in our program. Research shows employers value that tremendously. And just as she was saying, sometimes communication is a little difficult, and I think learning and growth happens sometimes through discomfort. And especially this semester, my course was switched from a completely face-to-face to a hybrid, and the hybrid piece was asynchronous. And that added a little curveball that I think made it a little more difficult to be on top of the communication, to help students with that communication. And I think going forward, we're going to try to avoid having a hybrid course from my end. I really find the value in having it face-to-face. But again, I think there is tremendous value. I tell students, in some ways, we want this to be a little messy, right? We want you to work through problems. We want you to work through mistakes even, and learn from them. We much rather you make a mistake here than when you get out to your job. So this is value in everything that we do. And so in some ways, we like the mistakes, we like the challenges, because that is where the growth lies. George Laura, one of the students in the group that we're presenting today, he was very eager to come here today, but he let me know this morning that he was very sick, so he's not going to join us. So I'm just going to show a couple small little clips from our side, and then I'll give a little more summary of what we did, and Martine can jump in as well. So bear with me 1 second. I'm having trouble switching this. For some reason, I don't have access to the share the screen. Oh, hold on a second, my bad. Okay. So the American business that both the Mexican and US students were working on was a restaurant in the Bronx. And I'm just going to show briefly a little bit of their SWOT analysis. And well, actually, you know what? This is just a summary of the recommendations, which I think is fine. Maybe I'll just end on that since I'm having a little tech difficulties. But here you go. This is Syed Wahid, one of our excellent students, just talking about the recommendations that they made on the problems. Most of the problems were related to poor location, poor management, and they came up with 3 or 4 recommendations for doing so, for helping the company. and they are sharing these recommendations with the owner of the company, and hopefully these these will be addressed.
Our report on Spice Up Restaurant. The restaurant has a lot of potential in terms of gaining more popularity and significantly improving the quality of food. The owner does his business from his hobby, which has always been to operate a food business with his hard-earned money and putting his capital into it. So we sent our recommendations to the business owner, and he was more than happy to help us with this research, and he will go through our recommendations, and he has more plans for the future for his business. All right, thank you. That was our report on Spice Up Restaurant.
And I would just add, going through the videos and just seeing students like Syed just talking about real businesses and talking about real problems that they're having, and using what he's learning in class, and really, more importantly, applying what he's learning in class, and applying and using a lot of his common sense and his smarts, and really solving real problems, and hopefully bringing value to a local business. That's exactly what we want, right? This is what we want our students to do. And as you go through the videos, that's more or less what you see. I definitely, from the feedback with students, there was challenges with communication. There was challenges in bringing the two groups that, the members from both Mexico and the US, bringing them together to get that work done. And I think that's reasonable in a lot of ways. It's challenging sometimes to get work done when you're in the same office and in the same building, let alone in different countries. And I would say, Martin mentioned that the time difference. Kyoko, you mentioned your large time difference, and that 1 hour that Martin and I have, that's a challenge. A challenge for students is miscommunication. Martin and I over the years have had a couple of miscommunications with the time. So these things are, things that you learn from, and are good growing experiences that we think is tremendous value. But I just would say, in terms of the working with the businesses and identifying issues, and then applying what they're learning to identify solutions, it makes me really happy. It makes me really happy to see them be able to do this, and also be able to do this in this global context where they're also learning these multicultural skills. So again, I think each semester we learn, we adapt, and so on. But I think it's all value added. I thank Olga for introducing me to the concept. I thank Martin for being an amazing partner, and hopefully we'll continue to grow this throughout our program. So thank you very much, everybody. Martin, you want to add anything from your point of view? Yeah. Thank you, everybody. And again, thank you for having us here again.
I just want to say a big thank you for grounding I think every COIL project is experiential, but you really grounded it in real world and helped your students kind of theorize the importance of it, which I think is so great. And thank you for doing all this work for all these years. Thank you so much. And it was really useful also to hear at your institutional perspective as a program director, and relating it to, I'm sure, and Martin, we've talked a lot about how COIL relates to your institutional values. So I know for LaGuardia, it definitely relates to some of the core competencies that Ed was mentioning. So yeah, thank you for highlighting that. And thank you so much to all the students too. Okay, I think real world, connection to real world is our theme today, which is wonderful. And we're gonna go to Brazil now and hear from Professor Elane Kreile and our dear Nancy Bandiera, who did a project called Stars from Scars.
Yeah.
Yes, and you'll introduce your students, please.
Okay, I guess I'll go first. I put, excuse me, I put the unit in the chat, and I just want to scan it. So can I open it from the chat, Olga?
What would you like to open?
Yeah, I put it in the chat.
Oh yeah, let's see.
I just want to show it as a little picture.
I think you can, but I don't see it in the chat.
Okay. Am I right here? Here it is, COIL unit plan. Can I share it?
Yeah, please, of course.
Oh, okay. So I have that capability then. All right, so let's see, share screen. All right, so this, I have worked before with a Russian professor, and now I've journeyed all the way over to Brazil. And what we did is just a little picture. I just want to show you how we set it up, and then I'll stop talking. So what we focused on was, we named it Imagining a Cross-Cultural Dinner Feast. And what stuck was From Scars to Stars. So each of our students planned a dinner feast, and each student had to pick a famous person who through life had a lot of obstacles to overcome, and they persevered with determination, and then they became famous. So it ended up being a project of that very thing, overcoming obstacles and pressing on to achieve success in whatever you set your mind to. And what we did was plan a dinner feast. We broke down into groups. We had Padlet, and our major goal was to create and strengthen collaboration among faculty and students, to provide meaningful, significant opportunities for global experiences. And I think what we really accomplished was the transfer of skills that we taught and students learned in the classroom to a global community. And believe me, that is a monumental for us, that especially in a beginning class. My class was public speaking, Elane's is students are learning English, and the blossoming, the growth was just wonderful. And I even had the privilege of coaching privately her class. So these are basically, the unit one was getting to know one another. We gave some directions, posted homework, more directions, warm-up activities on Padlet. Then students had to post their research about their star. And then we broke into small groups. And Elane and Cristiane, another Brazilian colleague, was able to get a teacher assistant, Julia, who hopefully will speak. And she was just marvelous in forming groups and keeping conversation going among them. But they did have to negotiate. They each brought whomever they chose for their dinner guest, a star that had scars. They had to negotiate where they were going to have the dinner, what kind of dinner, and what food they were going to have. That was, I think, probably all our favorite part. And then they, each group developed a PowerPoint, and then they presented, which on a Zoom time. This was all asynchronous, but we managed to be able to have a party, and each group presented on a Saturday night, and it was wonderful. Elane, do you want to add something to that?
Okay. Hi, good morning. Can you hear me? Yeah. Is my connection okay?
Great. Great.
Yeah. Okay. Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you a lot for having me here, for having us here. And thank you, Olga, Nancy, Nancy's students, my students, for this amazing collaboration. Okay, this was really an amazing experience. Actually, I'm not going to talk about the steps of the project because Julia, our great teaching assistant, will talk a little bit about that. And I would just like to thank you a lot for that and maybe introduce myself and my institution. Okay, I'm Elane and I teach EFL. I teach English as a foreign language, okay, to my students. It was very good to have the opportunity to provide this opportunity for my students because they had this experience of speaking real English, because when we are in class, we have to just imagine ourselves in some contexts, but now they had to speak real English in a real context. They didn't have, because here when they can't, they speak Portuguese, but in this context, they really had to speak English and they had this real experience of the language. And we were, my institution is in the state of Rio de Janeiro. It's not in the capital, it's not the Rio de Janeiro city where the Christ the Redeemer is, but it's a very beautiful city. And my students are, and my institution is a little bit different from regular schools because it has a variety of courses. And these courses go from high school integrated with vocational courses to doctorate courses. And my students who engaged in this experience are about to graduate from their high school integrated with vocational courses. And I think this was kind of a gift, kind of a present for them, a graduation present. They are graduating now this month, and now they are participating in this showcase. It's also, it's not only a big experience, but also a graduation present for them. So thank you a lot. And I'll let them speak, I'll let them shine. I have, not for students, I have Julia, assistant, who will talk about the steps of the experience. Then I have Isabel, I think we'll talk about positive and negative effects, okay? We'll talk about the challenge, and then Raquel. And then I would have Maria Eduarda, but she had technical problems and she couldn't get in. I'm sorry, okay? One student of mine couldn't get in. Maybe I'll ask her to record a video, and if she accepts to do that, I will send you the video, okay, Olga? Thank you a lot.
I have 5 students too, so we plan for about 40 seconds each. Okay.
I think Julia will talk now.
Hello, good morning. Thank you everyone for having me here. I'm Julia Santana. I'm a college student at IFE. Right now I'm majoring in drama. I'm currently a scholarship holder for this beautiful project that I had the opportunity to be a part of through Elane. And from my perspective, what I can say is that it was an incredible and unique experience. Everyone overcame so many personal challenges throughout every step of the project, from trying to introduce themselves in the Padlet and to presenting their group project. It was a beautiful journey to watch them go throughout. I believe that being able to deal with such transversal and urgent themes from such different perspectives and transforming these differences into something broader was what united us and identified us as a community. And what was stuck with me was that individuals that carry so many stories and dreams and scars, and who share something very valuable, that it is the need to connect, to heal, to be heard, and to hear and spread love. So I will never forget your faces, your names, your stories that you brought, and the stories that we made together. It was an honor. I will be forever grateful to Elane, Nancy, and Christiane, and of course to all my stars. And I
Thank you.
can't wait to have another.
She did great. And you know what, everybody, we've got so many plans for New York visits, Brazil visits. So well, I want Julia to come to New York because she's going to be heading for musical theater. Elane, how about if we take turns back and forth? LaGuardia student and one of your students. Okay, Sebastian, do you want to say a few words?
Yeah, sure. Hi, everyone. Everyone who is here. My name is Sebastian. I just want to talk about my experience in the
Can you
COIL.
put your video on? Oh, there you are, Sebastian. Okay.
I just want to talk about my experience working with everyone. For me, it was great. It helped me improve a lot of my working skills, like working in a group. You know, at first it was like a little weird because I didn't know the students from Brazil. I didn't know much about them, but eventually after the days came, we were sharing our food, like or we were just texting like to see how our day was. It was like a good approach to a new culture for me, especially I'm never like being close with people who are from Brazil, and learning from them was really actually really enrichable. I don't know if that's the word, enrichable. So everything was great. Working with Julia, she was like our mom to us. Like she was with us every day, and every day like, guys, you have to like upload this. So it was awesome. Yeah. Overall, I'm really happy how the COIL experience went. I'm really happy for everything. I'm thankful for the opportunity for being here, like talking to everyone. Yeah, it was awesome. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Dr. V.
Yes.
You made everything. Thank you, everyone actually.
Everyone. We had a wonderful class. Thank you, Sebastian. Elane?
Thank you, Sebastian. Thank you, Julia. Julia is great. Yeah, she was kind of the older sister. Yeah, like telling you what to do all the time. And now we're going to have Raquel. Yes, Raquel. No, sorry, Isabella. Okay.
Hi, my name is Isabella Gamenon, and I'm one of the students who's going to graduate this month. So I'm really happy right now. And I'm sorry if I tremble over my words because I'm a little nervous. But one of my challenges that I had during this project was like, I finished my English course in 2018, and since then I had no one to practice with. So I had started reading and watching some shows in English to practice something. So when this project came up, I was like, why not sign in? Why not? Why can't I do that? So I can practice. But I'm a really shy person, so it was a challenge for me because I had to talk with strangers and in another language. So it was a really difficult time for me. And then we had to present to everybody, but everyone was so supportive, so patient with me and with the Brazilian students in my group. So I'm really thankful to all of you, to my teacher, to Nancy, to the other students from LaGuardia. And it was a really great time. And thanks to everyone, now I can talk with everybody in English without being afraid that I'm going to have some difficulty while talking. And that's something that I will really remember forever in my life. It was a really good opportunity for me. So thank you all.
Thank you, Isabel. It was great getting to meet you. Okay, so how about Jose?
Hello. Can they see me?
Yes, there
Okay.
you are, Jose.
Okay.
We're back to LaGuardia, everybody.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Jose Rojas. My major is liberal arts, math, and science. It was really fun working with the international students because I know in my group, we were all art people, and we all shared ideas, and we tried our best to make the most presentable PowerPoint by mixing up colors and putting on images. And from this project, I accomplished by improving my social skills and adapting them into an academic environment. Well, a challenge I had was working out a plan with my group, especially sorting out the PowerPoint and actually putting all our ideas together and from our stars and putting it all just about their obstacles and basically their achievements. However, we were able to communicate and organize ourselves through text messages and set up a Zoom meeting, and we all communicated. And it was very fun too. And after that, during the final presentation, we were a little bit nervous but of course we encouraged each other. We said everything's gonna be fine, and we did it. So COIL is a moment I won't forget, how it taught me to be a better public speaking student, and how it's important of learning from each other, because you never know, the person next to you may have the same interests as you. And I just want to say thank you to everybody, and thank you, Dr. B, for everything, and everyone else.
Thank you, Jose. You know, we all got very close. Right now, I'm getting the chills because, or I get a lump in my throat because it was just very precious. Elane?
Indeed, it was. Okay. Now we're going to have Raquel.
Can you guys hear me clearly?
Yeah.
Okay, my name is Raquel Mendes. I'm a high school student and I'm finishing in this month, as well as Isabel. And actually Isabel and Jose, they were both in my group. And we were very supportive to each other. We were very nervous at the presentation. And the support we had towards each other was, you know, I think it was the most important part to make it happen. And we also got to engage with each other. I got closer to my peers of my school, you know, my own school, Isabel. And also I got to know people from the other part of the world, Jose, and there was also another girl from New York, Kiani was her name. And I got closer to my teacher as well. And I'm very grateful for her to, you know, offering this experience to her students. And I think the only negative part of this whole project was that it was all online and we didn't get to meet people, you know, face to face and connect with them physically. So that was the only negative part. But, you know, maybe one day I'll get to visit New York and we can all, you know, be together and do something similar. So I'm very grateful for being a part of this project, and thanks Elane for the experience. Thanks Julia as well for all the work you've done, and also thanks Dr. B for this experience.
Yes.
Thank you, Raquel. Okay, yeah, it was an amazing experience, and I hope one day we can meet each other face to face. Who knows? Yeah. Well, actually, Nancy, Christian, and I have been planning that. Okay. Okay. One day, everyone will come to Brazil, and everyone will go to New York. Who knows?
Yeah, we're going to put them in the tourist in Airbnb business.
Yeah.
Okay.
And now,
all right. So who's the next student? Mm-hmm.
My last student won't come. Okay, because she had tech. And now all your students can go. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you. And that was just beautiful. All the Brazil. I feel like they're my students. You know, that's the thing. Naima, Olir, and Bupen. Naima, you can go.
Hello everyone, my name is Naima. So today I'm gonna share my experience of COIL project. It's a very good experience because we can share our culture and it's a teamwork and they help each other they can help each other and we can get contact with the Brazilian student. And Julia also helped us, she always tell us which thing we need to upload and what thing we need to do. And we did a meeting and everyone shared their stars and to my star, and we can get great communication with them. And I can um, I want to thank the Dr. B because she gave us the opportunity, and the COIL also helped us to gain some knowledges. And thank you, everyone.
Hey, thank you, Naima. Alir, beautiful Naima.
Good morning, everybody. I'm representing LaGuardia.
Alir, is your video on?
Yeah, it says it's, oh, there we go.
Okay.
Hey, everyone. I'm Alir. I'm from New York, and I'm a student at LaGuardia. Working on the COIL project was a really great experience that I think was successful for a couple of reasons. One of which was just learning and being aware of other people's cultures. I remember when we were negotiating the food, my Mediterranean, Eastern European roots came out a little bit, and I was like, why don't we just throw a whole lamb on a spit on a fire and call it a dinner? And the other people were like, maybe not. So I think it's good to always be aware of other people's eating habits. And, if you're organizing a business dinner or something like that, I think you want to think about other people more so than just what you would enjoy to eat. Another thing that I found really powerful with the COIL project was hearing everybody speak about these massively popular celebrities and some of the horrible things that they've had to overcome, and then going on to say how they themselves relate to these horrible things. And I think it's just a friendly reminder to know that everybody's carrying the weight of their past to a certain degree, and that you should always move forward in life with kindness and love, and always be just gentle with other people because you never know what they're going through. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Alir. And finally, we have Bhupen.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. I'm an international student from Nepal studying in LaGuardia Community College right now. Doing our COIL project helped me realize that the project like this exposes students to the real world where they learn about time management skill and the social skills. Enhancing your public speaking and building social connection is a must skill that you must have in order to succeed in your career. So I would like to thank Dr. B for this wonderful opportunity for exposing us to the real world outside and how people interact with each other outside the world. That's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right. All right, so you see our goals of interaction, intercultural communication, as Alir said, kindness and being inspired by other people's stories. And then our students got to share their stories with each other. And I tell you, it really accomplished what was deeply in my heart. That is the building of community. And our classroom, we built a wonderful community in the classroom. Then we built a community among our professors and Julia and all the students. And that transfer of skills was just so important. And also, I told everyone that it was their intro to activism, that we can do something that is very available. We can start here, something that is just offered if we take the opportunity and keep pressing on. So thank you, Olga. Thank you to the whole COIL team. This is really a joy for all of us.
Thank you for joining the COIL team last year, Nancy. You made it very lively. And thank you for all the student voices that you brought with you, both of you. Thank you. And also I want to say thank you to Chris, who was your third partner, and I know that her students also participated. Wonderful. So we have another group of wonderful faculty. My colleague from the English department, Lucy McNair, her wonderful partner, Dr. Saeed Chemlal, and their students.
Hello, everyone. It's so wonderful to be here. I just love hearing, from the professors and then from the students. So I'm really, really happy to be here with my colleague, Professor Saeed Chemlal from the University Sidi Mohamed bin Abdellah in Fez, Morocco. This is our second COIL project. And I'm going to start a PowerPoint. And we have a couple students here. We have a bunch of students here, but some who have prepared some slides to present our project this semester. So I'm going to share the slide and then I'll hand it over to my colleague. Hold on a sec. Wait a minute. Okay, hold on just a sec. Great. So our project was called Cultural Narratives and Counter Narratives. And again, it was between LaGuardia and Fez, Morocco. And I'll hand it over to my colleague now to introduce the details of it. Saeed.
Thank you, Lucy. Hello, everyone. So it's my pleasure to be here today with you. And as Lucy has just mentioned, so this is my second year as a COIL partner. And I'm lucky to have been working with Lucy, who is such an amazing partner. And we have done a lot of work and we have made a lot of connections. So I'm teaching at the University of Sidi Mohamed bin Abdellah Sidi Mohamed bin Abdellah in Fez, Faculty of Arts and Humanities. Then, we have two different courses, so Lucy and I. So we have made a lot of efforts to make connections. So Lucy is teaching English 274, so creative and nonfiction. I'm teaching representing cultural difference. Lucy's group is an undergraduate group, so while my group is an MA group. So my group, coming with let's say critical background, so because they belong to cultural studies. So while Lucy's group, so they come from let's say non-creative writing background. So there we have these differences. So we managed to come up with very interesting, let's say, connections and projects. So my last word. So this is a very wonderful experience. So and I wish it's not the last one. So that's it. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Saeed.
I think Alicia.
We're now going to pass it on to the students, and I just ask the students as they present, just say your name and where you're from, and then we'll go from here. So I'm going to pass it on to Alicia Parks. You have to unmute yourself.
Hello, hello everyone. My name is Alicia. I'm one of Professor McNair's students. As she mentioned, we collaborated with students from Morocco, and we did this on Slack. One of our first assignments was to create a video that introduced ourselves, where we were from, what we were interested in, and most importantly, how we view the creative process. After we did that, we had a second assignment, and this was pretty much fun. What we had to do was we had to think of ourselves as an animal. How do we view ourselves as an animal? And we got so many different types of animals. We got animals as big as an elephant, which is what I viewed myself as. all the way down to as small as a mouse. So we had a really good time collaborating with our Morocco friends. That's it. Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you, Lucia. So Mike?
Morning, everyone. My name is Mike. I'm from New York. I'm one of Professor McNair's students. I'm just going to share some of the sources that both my classmates and I and our collaborators over in Fez went through. There was all kinds of stuff. There was some creative nonfiction and short fiction films. I don't really have time to get into all of these, but they're all wonderful. James Baldwin is brilliant. Zorania Hurston equally so. Some of the stuff we focused on, at least in our COIL group, was the movie Myopia by Sine Akrud. There's a big theme of, there's a big image of these broken glasses and how short-sighted kind of every side of everything can be and how it affects all of us in any society, as well as The Woman from New York by Mohamed Morabbet. He was an oral storyteller and all of his stories were written down by Paul Bowles, I think. And that was a story about a woman from America, from New York specifically, going to spend time in Morocco. And the story is told from a Moroccan man's point of view. And it just highlights all of just the differences that they deal with. He thinks that she's poisoning his friend and she's just a bad cook. Like he thinks she's dirty, but you know, she just doesn't shower 5 times a day. It was all just remarkable stuff. And it was really fun hearing their points of view on stuff and sharing our points of view and just kind of going back and forth. It was a really enjoyable experience.
Thank you, Mike. Great. Now I'm going to hand it over to Ruben. Ruben, are you there?
Present, Professor. Hello, my name is Ruben Laporte. I am a student at LaGuardia, and I am in Professor McNair's class in creative nonfiction. Fun fact, I was born, raised, and currently live in the Bronx. Probably wondering how I live in the Bronx and attending a school in Queens. Long story, to be honest. But yeah, I do want to get into a project assignment. On Zoom and as well as in Slack, we discussed the narratives in the readings and films about Morocco and the US. We analyzed the POV, voice, setting, images and symbols, and themes. We asked, in what ways do we present conforming or counter narratives to the dominant thinking in their societies?
Thank you, Ruben.
Oh, sorry.
Ruben, I'm going to stop there unless you want to talk a little bit more, but I'd love Doha if she could chime in because she wasn't able to be part of our preparation work. But Doha, are you there?
Yes, sure, Professor.
Oh, great. Ruben, do you want to say anything more about the discussion part first?
Yes,
Oh,
sure.
no, that's okay. I mean,
okay, great. Doha?
Dear COIL's international community, dear professors, my name is Doha and I'm a student in the Cultural Studies Master's program. As my teammate Ruben has already explained, we have attempted in all of our COIL projects to provide a counter reading to different texts, visual and literary texts. Now, one of the first questions that one asks here is, what are these stories that we are telling and how these texts and what are these stories based on? Is it that we really have these experiences and knowledge, or are these narratives that are so powerful, hence they remain unquestioned? A counter reading of these texts requires a close attention to the processes of imperialism, resistance in the text. Now, by looking into the text, we read the subtext that was once forcibly excluded, thus giving rise to a different and alternative interpretation of the narrative. We have the best example is Myopia, how it is not a coincidence that in most post-colonial settings, it is feminists and women who hold Western conceptions of gender relations that receive the most publicity. But this is, with our focus in the next slide will be on Myopia. The question also, another important thing is that how by providing examples of counter readings, we allow different positionalities and voices to emerge. Through the silences, the gaps, the unsaid things, we can allow space for marginalized voices to exist. How feelings are also forms of knowledge production, images, sounds, and so on. Language here also becomes an important and has an important function in given counter readings. When we know that language has been what limits and what allows imaginations, what defines us, we have been made to define ourselves through language. We give language to decide the categories of the existence of people. And with language being that, stories and narratives can either reinforce stereotypes or dismantle and disrupt relationships of power and domination. I will hand it over to my teammates, Samantha, to provide more examples of these counter readings with a focus on myopia. Thank you.
Thank you, Doha. So great. Samantha?
Hi, I'm Samantha. I am a student, a philosophy student at LaGuardia, and I was in Professor McNair's creative writing course. It was really great having like a creative perspective paired with these very academic perspectives. The project Doha and I created with some other students was we created a article, like a journal, on the film Myopia, where each of us acted as different journalists, providing a counter narrative to the narratives that had been given in the film. And you can see it shown right here. Yeah.
That's fantastic. Great. And so, and Mike, do you want to say something about Lucy in Berberland?
Sure. Our group did kind of like a collaborative collage narrative. Everybody wrote a small portion of a story. We wrote about an American in Morocco through an American's point of view. And we had the scene as a wedding, and we were, I think, successful in showing a lot of the different aspects of the two cultures through, as the American, as a cultural response, or as a narrative response to the woman from New York. Everybody wrote their own part and kind of weaved it in together. It was a lot of fun.
That's great. So if anybody would like to look at these things, I can share them. They're really amazing texts that bring together creative writing and cultural theory, just like what Doha is talking about. And many of the students, I wish we could have all the Moroccan students talk as well. They're just very fluent, just very articulate and knowledgeable. So this was, and a lot of it was also, building off this film Myopia, which was also shown at the New York Forum of Amazigh Film, an online film festival this spring at LaGuardia. So now I'm going to take it back to just takeaways and reflections. And so I'm going to start with Ruben, and maybe everybody can say something. Ruben?
Yes, Professor, I wanted to say that it was a pleasure doing the COIL project. And I also want to share something. Give me one moment, sorry. Okay, here it is. As part of the COIL project, the topic I have explored was about marriage, how my interactions with my international peers impacted my understanding of the topic was pretty amazing because I learned how important marriage really is and how carefully it is planned. The project did help me to learn something about my culture, identity, and lifestyle. I learned that, like Morocco, marriage is also important in Puerto Rico, as well as part of one's identity and lifestyle. I also learned that marriage is both a beautiful event, but also a serious step and must not be taken lightly. What I have learned from my international peers is that despite Moroccan Arabic being widely spoken by Moroccan people, Standard Arabic and Amazigh language are considered the official ones. Standard Arabic is associated with the media, education, and literacy. They can differentiate between Standard Arabic and Moroccan Arabic by remembering that Standard Arabic is formal, linguistic, and has, for example, the Holy Book, the Quran to support it. Whereas Moroccan Arabic is cultural and has no religious connotation because the Quran was not revealed in it. It's also important to mention that Morocco is characterized by multilingualism. They have other spoken languages such as French, Spanish, and English. The diversity in languages basically gives them a sense of pride and pressure. Honestly, I never had a cultural perspective because I am the kind of person that enjoys getting to know people of different cultures, backgrounds, nationalities, ethics, religion, race, and many more. Excuse me. That's hurting. I never once think that my culture is better than others. I never in a million years would think that way, ever. I am a diverse person who enjoys diversity. I am glad to be a student at LaGuardia Community College. I was able to communicate with my call group on both Slack and WhatsApp group, so I had no problem adjusting to it and communicating with the group. Participating with the group helped me to be a team player and to have good communication with them. I know that these are the skills that will be needed in any career. And it shows how respectful I am with the group, and it shows how mature and responsible I am. Never would I be inappropriate with them in any way. I've always learned how important it is to be respectfully professional. My most useful learning moment was discussing our call digital animals. Like me, a few students feel like they can relate with the wolf. Another most useful learning moment is that this is the first time I ever learned about Morocco. I'd say it is an interesting country. I never thought that they would speak Spanish over there. I also speak Spanish as well. What I found most challenging was sharing ideas with the group. I guess you could say that I was nervous about whether or not they would like or accept my ideas related to marriage in Morocco. I wanted to be carefully selected with the ideas. And that's it.
Thank you, Ruben. Thank you so much. So I'm just going to pass the mic if it's okay to see if anybody just wants to say a short thing, a takeaway that they have. Alicia?
I'm sorry for the delay. Yeah, this COIL project is really amazing. You know, the internet made the world smaller, and this COIL project is along that path. And hopefully, this will allow war to be extinct. You know, hopefully, you know, this will allow the leaders to realize that, you know, we're all connected. You know, and war is, there's really no place for war. And it'll also hopefully allow other leaders to hold those leaders that want to participate in war accountable. So this COIL project that's connecting us from different parts of the world is an amazing project. Everyone have a great day.
Thank you, Alicia. Doha, do you want to chime in?
Professor. So hello again. My name is Doha Smidi. COIL has been an important experience in the sense that, unlike what we are usually told how different we think we are, there are a lot of similarities between us. COIL gave us space to express ourselves, share our thoughts, and I think it would be really important to see COIL, the school's experience, as the start and not the end of thinking about questions of representation, identity, stereotyping the other, the power of stories and how the world works. The politics of representation and misrepresentation in COIL were the highlights of our meeting. Who represents the other, who defines the other, who writes about the other, who has the agency and who lacks it. How by being represented in certain ways that reinforce stereotypical and orientalist images, one is misrepresented. Another important aspect is how stories, literature, movies are not innocent knowledge production, that we have to unpack and deconstruct the different power relations in these texts. As Edward Said argues in Orientalism, that a big part of colonialism was that it was able to create stories about the rest of the world that we continue to reproduce in academia, whether it is conscious or unconscious. Another author argues that whoever tells the story controls the world, and this is Leila Al-Anami, a Moroccan-American author. So the only effective way to counter whatever images exist about people like you, people who are marginalized, who do not have a voice, is to create your own images, create your own stories, and not wait for somebody else to create stories and write stories about you. And this is what the objective of counter readings in our project in COIL. Thank you.
Thank you, Doha. Samantha?
Hi, yes, thank you. I was just going to say it's been such a wonderful opportunity to exchange information and learning with people all over the world. And I think what I find time and time again is underneath all of our striving and identity and even education, we're all just people trying to exist in the world and find connection. So it was really great. Thank you.
So well said. Mike, do you want to wrap up? Are you still there?
Yep, I'm still here. It's hard to follow all of that awesomeness, but yeah, I don't know. COIL was great. It was super cool meeting with other halfway around the world, and you know, as Doha said, it's not the start. It's not just the start. It's the end. No, it's not the end. It's the start. I hope I can find more classes like this. You know, maybe even study abroad sometime. I don't know, but yeah, it's going to be great. And I'm going to give a flex real quick. I took all those pictures that you're looking at. That was this guy. But yeah, thanks to everybody for making this such a wonderful semester, working with you students from FES and the students in New York. Thanks, guys.
Great. Thanks, Mike. So Saeed, I don't know if you want to say one final thing, and then we'll say goodbye.
That's an exciting experience. So that from which I have learned a lot. So and that's it. So thank you, Lucy, for being my COIL partner for 2 years. And thank you, Olga, and all the Anita, and all the people in charge of COIL. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much for being with us. Doha, I think you summed up the spirit of COIL really well in terms of having authentic interactions, and instead of, you know, following the narratives that exist, actually meet the people and communicate. And I also was thinking that all the professors work really, really hard to make this project, to design this project, but then it's really the students who bring them to life, right? And so it was really wonderful to hear what this group of students and all the other students that presented today were able to take away with them, right? And this is really what makes our work so rewarding. So thank you. I want to say a special thank you to the students for being here today, for sharing your experiences, for reflecting on the meaning of this work. And I really do hope that it will help you professionally, personally, and really help you become better global citizens. We do have a few other faculty who did COIL this semester, and I just want to give them a minute each to at least introduce themselves, their partner, a topic of their project, but we are running out of time. We are actually over time now, so just 1 minute if I could ask Kelly and Yen.
Sure. Hi, I'm Kelly Aliano. I teach in the English department at LaGuardia Community College, and my liberal arts capstone course, LIB 200, collaborated with Yan Yang's art history course and Snowber Sadaravala's English course at St. Mira's College. Professor Yang is at Borough of Manhattan Community College on the subject of art and inequality, and we explored a kind of big question about what it means for work to be labeled as part of a golden age, and had students explore that from their own personal cultural perspectives. And then to look at the question of what it means to become modern in light of the ways in which that's often fraught with modernization, with westernization as a route to becoming modern. Yen, is there anything you want to say?
Yeah, and so I'm listening to everybody's presentation and reflections. Everything resonated with me because usually as the professors, as the thing is going on, you only hear you only get to hear the troubleshooting things. It's like, okay, I don't have time to do this by this time because we're in 3 different time zones. And sometimes the students, they take it so seriously. They're like, okay, what do I do? If I can't hit this deadline or that deadline, I would be like pulling my entire group back. But then when everything is done and seeing all of the submissions, and it truly was that all's well that ends well, because every single group submitted something, and the students may not have realized at the time, but part of the what we hope that they will learn is how to talk to others. A lot of students prefer to do work on their own. They are not very keen on group work, and giving them this opportunity to do so and telling them that, okay, you're busy this week, then you should tell your partners that, and let them know that perhaps for this current group project, we had several group projects. So for the current one, you may not be able to contribute as much as you would like, but you can pick up the slack in the next week's group project because you have a little bit more time. And being able to communicate, that's really an important skill that they will need in the real world. And I do think that over these weeks, that at least my students have truly learned that. And I was really happy to see their reflection at the end of the semester. And most of them are very positive about this experience.
Same, my students decided to make their final course project creating a video about their experience with COIL, and it was one of the most rewarding pieces of student work I've ever had the privilege to receive. They felt so energized by having had this experience. So thank you, Olga, and everybody for this great experience.
No, thank you for working together. This was a triangulated partnership, so took a lot of coordination, and we will have the video. So as soon as we get students' releases, we'll post it on our Asynchronous page, which I'll show in a minute. Thank you so much for sharing, both of you. Alcira, just tell us quickly your wonderful topic, if you're still here. Not sure if Alcira is still here. Okay. So one other thing before we end, we have a video that we're not going to be able to post on the gallery, but we would like to share with you. This was from another business professor, and he collaborated also with the University of Guanajuato. And his students recorded a video that I think Pablo will be able to show us. It's only a few minutes. Pablo, can we stop the recording and share, please? Project with Guanajuato. I think one of the most beautiful things with COIL is that, you know, we meet one professor in one school and then they bring their colleagues and it just grows. And this is how our network really grew. So I will turn this over to Alcira, who did a project with UNAM, which I can never remember what it stands for, that huge school in Mexico. If you can just tell us briefly about the topic. Alcira?
I'm mute. I am here. I'm here. I'm here. I'm sorry. Hello, everyone. Well, I wish my partner were here, but it's the end of the semester, so she sends her best. And I would like to say that I cannot be more, I am so happy to have participated in this COIL project. Probably is one of the most rewarding semesters and courses I had in the last years. My colleague, Professor Sarah Beck-Geller, is a professional. Here she's a historian. Oh, I'm sorry. I am an anthropologist, a cultural anthropologist, and I teach cultural anthropology at LaGuardia. And she and I decided to work on the theme of food, but food is too broad. I mean, but is the sustenance of life. So we thought this could be a perfect theme. And Professor Beck-Geller, she's an expert on food and nation, food and identity. And I have been exploring the issue of these subjects in my classes. So it was the perfect match. we developed a series of modules around themes like food and nation, food and political economy, how food is produced and consumed and exchanged. And we developed these questions with our students from UNAM, Universidad Nacional Autónoma de México, and my students here at LaGuardia. I have to say that her students are, for the most part, a master they are doing their masters and PhDs in anthropology and other related disciplines. And it came out perfect. And we developed the final project is a cookbook, a recetario. And actually, we will see the end of this project with this cookbook very soon. One of her colleagues in Mexico at UNAM volunteer or she's developing a digital cookbook based on the students' recipes, the ones that they presented, but not only recipes, also what is behind a recipe, what is behind the ingredients, what is behind the person who cooks, the person who taught maybe that recipe to the student, why they decided to choose that recipe of a favorite dish. So sentiments, tastes, feelings, and of course, the down-to-earth issues of ingredients and scarcity, etc. came out, and I hope to share with you this final work. Still, well,
great.
I stop here. Okay, so thank you very much to all.
No problem. Thank you so much, Alcira. And I do want to say thank you to Ariana, who is not here at the moment, but she is one of the 2 Humanities Alliance Fellows. They're graduate students from the CUNY Graduate Center who've been working with COIL. I think Marianne is here. And Ariana actually found Sarah, Alcira's partner, online. And I'm just so happy that it worked out.
Thanks to Ariana, I forgot to mention and to thank Ariana. Thank you, Ariana.
And I do want to share, so if Pablo, if you could just drop again a link to this wonderful gallery that we have. So these are some additional projects that you can look at on your own time. One of them is chemistry in sports, where Marta from LaGuardia collaborated with ECTA, who I think is maybe here, who teaches physical education, yoga to be precise, and you can watch their project. Then we had a fantastic project also through Ariana's connection with Chile, history and contemporary of the Hispanic and contemporary art practices, that was led by Professor Ariane Fernandez and Professor Christian Salineros from Chile. And then we also had Nicole Fernandez, and who worked with a professor from Jordan University of Science and Technology, and they focused on UN SDG number 6, which is water and sanitation. Fantastic video, did amazing work. And Habiba Boumlik, our colleague from Education and Language Acquisition, worked with a cultural anthropologist, Orit Yakuteli from Israel, on a project on diasporas. So please take a look at these. And I think this is all we have. I just want to thank once again my wonderful team, Anita Baksh, Pablo Villa, Ariana, Marianne, Emma, Rojan, the whole COIL committee that we formed this year. And I want to thank CTL in particular for supporting our work and the Office of Academic Affairs. But none of this would be possible without our international partners. So a very special thank you to our new friends, to our old friends who are making this program so incredible. I created a timeline that I would like to share with you. Just give me one quick second so you can see how the program really grew, where we started. Lemis, thank you for coming. Lemis has coiled in the past. Jose has coiled in the past. There are probably other people that I'm just not seeing right now. Thank you so much for joining us. I will share this timeline just for fun, so you can see. We can see that we started in 2016, and it was a very small pilot project that Anita and I and Kyoko and Lucy and Tomonori that semester, we just kind of decided to pilot it, and we got some support from the Office of Global Initiatives, which was led by Dean Howard Walk, which left a couple of years later. And in 2017 and 18, we went to a conference. So I think LaGuardia COIL, we always wanted to be a part of a community of practice. So from the very start, we joined all these conferences. Then we had a conference at LaGuardia for all the CUNY folks. And you can just see how it grew from something this small to what we have today, right? So I think our program has always been about community. And the last couple of years, because of the grants, we were able to really scale up the program. And again, we got a lot of support from Pablo, who has been absolutely instrumental, because you can see when you have 30 projects running and they all need some technology support, and Pablo has just been wonderful. So I just want to say a special thank you for being so resourceful and really kind of keeping the infrastructure of the program solid. And yeah, cheers to all of you and cheers to us. We're 6 years. Everyone has a story. Everyone has a story. If you want to stick around and just share your stories, how you started, I'll be happy to stick around with you. And of course, Tuli is here. Tuli, we love you, Tuli.
We love you too. I love you, all of you, so much. Sorry, I could just cannot turn on my video, but I am so touched by the work that you all did. It's just amazing. Kudos to Olga for your leadership, Anita for your leadership, to all of you faculty from different departments, from your international partners, and most important, our students. You are just incredible. Yes. Thank you for giving life to this vision and for putting it into practice, for helping it to grow, and for this fabulous journey. It's such an honor and a joy to be part of COIL, and it's just incredible. I'm so glad to hear these stories. Thank you, Olga. Thank you, Anita. Thanks, all of you.
Thank you so much, Tuli. Thank you. And Jose and everyone. I think we can take a picture together. If you guys, those of you who are able to turn on your cameras, there are still so many of you. I'm so grateful. Thank you. Pablo, you'll do the pictures?
Yeah, let me know when you're ready.
I think we're ready.
Okay, give me a second. So that I can capture everyone. All right, so I'll take a couple of shots. All right, everybody ready? 1, 2, 3. You take another one. Oh, hold on. Just take. There's so many people I have to go through. 2 windows. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Great. Let me take one last one. Everybody ready? 1, 2, 3. Great. That's it.
Anita, I'll let you maybe say a couple of words if you want, or anyone.
Thank you, everyone, for being here. Thanks, Olga, for all your leadership, for your vision, for staying committed to COIL all these years. It's been tough, especially in the beginning, but you saw it through, and you really built this community. I remember being at your house with some faculty. Those were our first kind of official COIL meetings, was being at Olga's home, eating her food, drinking her wine, and just you know, talking about ideas and how we can make this happen. Pablo, I think that was before you. Definitely need to have another one of those to have you there. But yeah, you know, you love COIL, and it's so apparent from all that you do. And you've really fought for COIL and fought for all of us. And I really appreciate that. And I appreciate all the faculty who continue to do COIL every semester. And you know, one of the things that I think is so great about COIL, and someone said this before, is that, you know, you take a lot of time to plan these projects, but really the outcomes are so unpredictable in a very positive ways, right? Yes, we have our learning outcomes, but the way that students are excited and the way they're connecting with their partners and the projects that they're creating and the way they take ownership is just really magical, right? So I appreciate all of you, all your hard work, and all the students' hard work. And it's such a privilege to be part of this community and to hear students talk about their experiences. So thanks, Olga. Thanks, Pablo. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Have a wonderful summer, everyone. And we will stay in touch. I think we need to figure out a way to meet in person. I think that's our next chapter. Let's see how we can make that happen. And I do want to say also that, you know, the showcase is really started as a faculty event, but very quickly we realized that, you know, students were such a big part of it. And I'm just so happy to see that we have all the students now. So we need to continue doing that, and we need to figure out a way to see each other. Yeah. Thank you again, everyone.
I hope so. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. See you.
Take care.